minutes or even the last couple of issues, welcome back. We are just going to get the ball rolling right now, and if there's any questions, please feel free to drop that in the chat. Maddie, our lovely social media and PR director, will be happy to answer your questions, as well as our exec members who are probably just popping in and out of the chat. So if there's any specific questions, like if you're a photographer, you need a question. If you're a photographer and you have a question, our photo directors will be happy to answer that. The same applies for stylists, models, makeup and hair. All of our exec team is kind of just sitting in right now. So if anybody has any questions, like I said, feel free to drop that. We're going to try to wrap this meeting up around 9:05, 9:10. So if there's any straggling questions that haven't been answered in the chat right now, feel free to send us a DM or an email, and Maddie will be happy to answer your questions. So with that being said, hi everyone, welcome. I'll introduce myself in a second when we get to our exec page, but I hope everyone's doing well. I'm so happy that you guys are here. This outreach is crazy. And so, like I said, just buckle up, enjoy the ride, and here is the themes and concepts for issue 3. So, if you are new to Primadonna, welcome. Primadonna Zine is an NYC based independent magazine on all things fashion, culture, and wellness, ran by Gen Z creatives. So a little background about us. Primadonna started in November of 2021. Production began from January 2022 all the way until March of 2022. We released our first issue on April 29th. And then our second issue production was August to November of 2022, and we released our second issue on December 16th. So, just to give you a little background on us, we are a independent magazine, but we also print biannually, and so we print 2 times a year. Production is usually a 4-month period, 2 times throughout the year. And so if you want to be involved with print, that's how you can kind of get an idea of how we're running things. But if you are interested in getting involved with anything digital regarding our website, or anything regarding submissions for art, music, all those kinds of things, we are coming out with a lot more ways to get involved. So if you're very interested in becoming a model, a stylist, makeup and hair, all things print related, this is your people. Welcome. So, as I said, Primadonna Zine started as an independent magazine. A little bit about us. It was honestly kind of an impulsive decision. My name is Pilar Bradley. I'm the editor-in-chief and founder. A little bit about me. I have always had an interest in pursuing fashion journalism and magazine publications as a whole. It's always been my kind of goal, and so Primadonna kind of started as a little thought in my head, and once I got to New York, I knew that this was definitely something that Gen Z needs. And so what better way to get involved, and what better way to get creative and collaborative and put our names out there than collaborating with other people our age. So yeah, that's a little bit about us. Okay, so here's our little agenda. Here's what to expect in our meeting today. Today we're going to be talking briefly about contributor roles, so how to get involved and what's expected for each role that you apply for. Then we'll touch on some resources and how to connect with us in the case that you want to move further. Then I'll introduce our executive team who administrates all things print, all departments. And then after we do a little introduction like that, we are going to get started with the layout, and we're going to touch briefly. I'm not going to reveal what the names of the concepts are, just out of confidentiality for us to you. But again, it's just going to kind of be a little brief. It's going to be a brief little touch up on what to expect for this issue. Here you'll get kind of an idea of what concepts or articles that you might want to get involved, what speaks to you. And if not, there's always a bunch of other ways to get involved. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so for print, if you want to be involved in the photos, the articles, anything like that, we ask that you are based in New York. We did have a couple people from around the country come in town because they had other occupations or just wanted to be involved. And that was so awesome. So if you ever do want to get involved and you're not based in New York, please feel free to come up and let us know your dates so we can kind of fit you in from there. But we do ask that if you are contributing for print that you are in New York, just because that's where we're based. And so, yeah, so each shoot team consists of hair and makeup. So Jillian is our beauty director, and she'll probably drop a couple things in the chat regarding how to join the glam team. This includes models as well, photographers. If you don't really have too much experience with doing any styling, photography, anything like that, and you just kind of want to come on set and get an idea of how publication works and how to run a magazine, please feel free to sign up to be a production assistant. And if you do the behind the scenes and you like to create a pretty picture but don't really want to be inside of that, you can always sign up to be a set designer. We're always needing extra hands on set to create these awesome concepts that we have planned for you guys. And so to take you to that dream world, what better way than to create it in the studio or wherever we shoot publicly. So if you are interested in set design, please feel free to sign up, and contact will be listed in the following slides. If you're a stylist, if you have experience in styling people, if you want to get involved in styling, this is the best place to do that. And then following styling is videographers. We are looking to expand our video presence, and so what better way to get involved than to join us? And for remote contributors, so for people who are not based in New York but still want to be involved in print for Prima Donna, you are more than welcome to be a graphic designer. Also including remote positions is writers. And so if you're interested in becoming any kind of writer for print, we offer 3 sections, which are fashion, culture, and wellness. And just to mention this, in each subsection is a little touch on other genres. So for example, if you are someone who is an artist, if you're someone who really cares about music, if you're someone who cares about film and you want to write about that, a couple of our concepts do incorporate all mediums of art. And so if you are interested in writing editorial pieces, please sign up to write. For brands and designers, they can be New York based or remote. We prefer you be New York based so our stylists and assistants can come pick that up from you. But if you're remote and you want to be involved and we see it fit that your clothing or jewelry or whatever you create fits our concepts, we will be more than happy to contact you and reach out for you to be involved. And if it, like I said, has to deal with clothing, our fashion director, Monica, will contact you on February 10th to let you know if we are going to add you to our designer bank for stylists to pull pieces for shoots. So, okay, moving on, for our resources, everything will be linked in our contributor hub on our website. This includes important information and links, points of contact. So for example, if you are a stylist, you will be contacting Monica, our fashion director. If you are someone involved in music or want to get coverage regarding your music taste or anything along the lines of that, please contact Gracie, our music curator. These are just examples of how you're going to contact your specific medium or what it is specifically that you want to get involved in. And then in addition to our resources on the contributor hub is our calendar. Dates are subject to change. So if you are involved in print and need routine updates, everything is going to be communicated to you via messages. But in the case that there is a public change or anything regarding that, including public events as well, because we're going to be doing some sporadically throughout the spring, everything will be linked on our calendar. And as for communication, please make sure that you keep up to date with your emails. If you use Gmail, please make sure to move our emails to your primary inbox. This is just in case it gets put in the junk folder or trash or spam or anything like that. If you're missing anything, we definitely are sending you emails, so just make sure you're checking through all of your inboxes. Now, if you are joining us on Apple Mail, please add us to your VIP list just to make sure you're not missing anything important. And then if you're on Outlook, add us to your favorites. Our main method of communication this issue is Google Chat. If you were with us the past issues, we used Slack, which was definitely not our favorite method of communication. And I know it wasn't you guys' favorite. So I want to make sure that everyone is communicating efficiently in an organized way and that everything gets communicated clearly. And then as for updates and links, Google Chats, again, that's really going to be where our communication is. Also, if you are contributing for print, you're going to be placed on our Instagram close friends story. It's kind of like a private story, but it's for routine updates and anything regarding what's next for print. And then again, make sure to keep up to date with our contributor hub, just to make sure that, calendar changes, points of contact, anything like that. Now, this is more for my creative teams, for stylists, hair and makeup, photographers, models. We are going to be using Milanote. Milanote's kind of like a Pinterest, but it's a Pinterest where you can actually put your own work on there. Basically, Milanote's kind of like a whiteboard app where you can add notes, you can add photos, you can add sticky notes, you can add comments. It's one of my favorite platforms, and I know stylists love this one because it's so easy for us to just go ahead and put everything out there visually. So those are going to be our main methods of communication. And if you want to screenshot this, please feel free just to stay up to date with us. Okay, so next steps regarding resources. After the meeting, we're going to be sending an email to all of the applicants, including the presentation and interest forms. Be sure to fill out that form by Friday, February 3rd. So that is this Friday before 12 p.m. If we get anything later or after that, I am so sorry, but we are not going to be able to include you in print. So make sure that you are sending everything in on time, just so we can consider you and we don't miss any awesome or amazing additional talent. Remote positions. Please check off the concepts that you're interested in. So if you're a writer, graphic designer, or a designer trying to send clothes to us or anything regarding getting involved from a remote position, make sure to check off those concepts that you're interested in. As for the shoot team, please check out the concepts that you are both interested in and able to attend the shoot date with 2 weeks notice. If you cannot attend the shoot date and you apply, I am so sorry, but we will not be able to consider you. I'd love to make sure that everyone can be considered, but this is just out of maintenance and efficiency and housekeeping for us, just to make sure that everything is routine and up to date. We will send out assignments on Friday, February 10th. And before I get into that, I forgot to notice that, I forgot to mention to join that shoot date within 2 weeks notice. I think I mentioned that, but again, just reiterating that. Anyways, we are going to be sending those assignments out via email on February 10th. So if you did get selected to work with us for print, you will be receiving an email from us then. If you didn't, there's going to be a number of resources on how you can get involved with Prima Donna, even if it's not just for this issue. And also, just to preface this, if you don't get selected this issue, it's not a no from us. It's just a not yet. We, like I said, have a bunch of more issues coming in the future, and we don't know where we're going to be, but we do know that you guys are going to be with us, and we're going to prioritize your contributions because that's why we are who we are. So if you don't get chosen for this issue, there is going to be the web team, there's going to be art submissions, music submissions, all types of ways to get involved. So even if it's not for print this issue, stay up to date with us. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for you. And once you have received those assignments, so like I said, those are for print. That's due on February 3rd. Once you receive those assignments, please use the RSVP link in your email to fill out important information regarding the shoot and credits. So this is just to make sure that in the case that anything's spelled wrong, your name spelled right, that kind of thing, just to make sure everything is logistical and I'm sorry, what?
Model measurements?
Yes. And also models. Please send your measurements. Please send your measurements.
It'll be in the form.
And that'll also be listed in the form as well. So everything is going to kind of be organized based on your position. But just to preface that, I know we have a lot of models signing up to work with us. So please make sure you guys are sending in your measurements. This is important for the stylist, and this is important for us, just to make sure that we are getting the right clothes for you, because that's our priority. We will be holding short virtual meetings for each concept. So you'll get an idea of that as I go through the slides. But for each concept to reveal the name and the angle that we're taking via the articles and the photo shoots, we're going to be having mini meetings with each team so you can get familiar with who you're working with, and I will explain each concept in further detail. These are mandatory meetings for everyone except writers. Writers, if you do want to join this, please feel free, but we are also going to have a writer's workshop for you on February 12th. Sorry, I don't know why I did not say the 12th right. But anyways, again, this is super important because once you guys get to set, you'll have an exact idea of what's going on rather than any straggling questions and last minute things. We want to make sure that we get all of your questions answered, and we really want to make sure that you understand where we're coming from as for the concept and what to expect. And so those shoot meetings will be F3, F4, F5A, F6, F7, and W2. Those meetings will be held sporadically through Saturday, February 12th. So just keep your eyes out for our emails from us if you are selected to be in those specific concepts. The rest of those meetings will be held February 17th through 19th, just to make sure that everyone is getting an idea of exactly what they're getting involved in. And like I said, we will discuss a time that works in Google Chat for everyone to schedule those meetings. Writers, we are going to be holding a workshop for you on Sunday, February 12th. It is extremely important that you attend this meeting. We will even consider not working with you if you don't attend this meeting, because writers, it is super important that you guys are getting the right information, understanding how to write an editorial piece if you've never written one before. And it gives us, as the editors, a great means of communication to make sure that you guys are writing the things that we want and answering all of our questions. And so if you are applying to write, please mark that on your calendar. If not, we might have a couple of issues, and unfortunately we might have to consider you not writing for this issue. Again, make sure to check in with those communication and resources just to make sure everything is happening efficiently. This is all going to be in the contributor hub again, but just to refresh that. Okay, so this is our contributor hub. Please watch this. Again, if you're missing this, it's going to be in the screen recorded meeting sent to you guys after. But to get to the contributor hub, you're going to basically do everything that's been happening in this. Make sure to sign up with your email. And then once you do that, you're going to scroll all the way down to resources. This is where our general information is, our points of contact. So all of our team will be listed right there. And then this is just for photographers, graphic designers, to make sure that you guys are sending everything in the right format. So everything is included for print. And then, like we said, in the contributor hub, there is a calendar. This, like I said, is subject to change, but this kind of tells you where everything is and where it takes place. And that'll be updated kind of routinely, but, you know, just in case you have general questions that we can't answer directly sometimes, everything's going to be listed on here for you guys. So, and then we also just have some cute images. This right here, posting on social media for contributors. We like to keep everything confidential. In the same way that other publications don't post their concepts until the release, that's the same thing that we're doing. And so if you are involved with us, if you do get chosen to be on set, you can take as many behind the scenes photos as you want. You can take a picture of the full look. You can take videos with each other, but that cannot be posted until after the release date. So if you do want to post a little photo dump, if you want to post on your story that you're doing a little something with us, make sure that it's a really zoomed, cropped picture that you can't see the entire set in. But we love soft launching, so yeah. Okay, so for those who don't know, we have an executive team. This is kind of our administrative team that oversees all departments of PRIMADONNA. So I'm very excited to introduce our new members and our returning members, because this issue is going to be a handful, but in the best way. And I'm so glad that we have an awesome team to join us. So if you didn't hear me from the intro, my name is Pilar Bradley. I'm the founder, editor-in-chief, and creative director. A little bit about me. I started PRIMADONNA as, you know, a little dream hobby, and then it just, you know, kind of blossomed into this platform that we have right now. So I'm so grateful for you guys and so happy that you guys are joining me and my team on this journey. So if you have any questions or anything, want to say hi, please feel free to reach out to me. My Instagram is pilar.bradley. And if you have any questions, anything like that, like I said, feel free to reach out to me. Our editor at large is Madison Collins. Her Instagram is Madison L. Collins. And she will be overseeing with myself when it comes to articles and writing and things like that. Our photo director is Philip Lewis. His Instagram is PhilipIsMe. He will be overseeing all of the photography department in addition to our junior photo director, Justice. So if you have any questions regarding lighting, studio times, what equipment we have, that kind of thing, please feel free to reach out to both Philip and Justice. They will be happy to answer your questions. Next is our art director, Miss Suma Deshpande. Her Instagram is Suma with 2 A's, Deshpande. So graphic designers, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Suma and she'll be happy to answer any questions. Or even if you just want to say hey to any of us to get familiar with you guys, we'll be happy to say our hellos. Glam team, our glam team captain and beauty director is Miss Jillian Tokar. So if you guys have any questions, kit supplies, things like that, please hit up Miss Jillian. Next is our lovely Monica. She is our fashion director, and her name is not Monica, it's Monica, but her Instagram is MOONICCAA. So if you have any questions, stylists, fashion designers, brands, when it comes to collaborating with us for editorial photo shoots and you want your work to be involved, please direct all of your questions fashion related to Miss Monica. Next is Luna Brea. She's our production and set director. If you have any questions, videographers, film directors, set assistants, anyone for that area of expertise, please feel free to contact Miss Luna. She'll be happy to answer any of your questions regarding that. Next is Miss Maddie. She's actually sitting right next to me, so if you want to say hey, Maddie.
Hello, everybody.
Maddie is our social media and PR director, so she is the brain behind the Instagram and the website. So if you have any questions, general questions, she'll be happy to answer those. She basically oversees the internal operations when it comes to reaching out to you guys. And then next is Miss Gabby. She is our web director. Web designers, web contributors, anyone who just wants to participate in Prima Donna outside of print. Gabby and I are really working on trying to expand our website so it's a platform for you guys where we're uploading daily content rather than just kind of waiting in between the issues. There's definitely going to be a lot of revamping happening within our website. And so please feel free to contact myself or Gabby, specifically Gabby, when it comes to questions for being posted or published on our website. Following Gabby is Esther. Esther's our junior web director. So again, if you have any questions on getting involved, Esther and Gabby are going to be your points of contact for anything regarding the website. Next is Nova Krasner. She's our managing editor. She's also kind of our casting director. So she is in charge of all of the models. So she's our little Tyra Banks, but definitely not the corrupt Tyra Banks that, everyone knows. But anyways, she will be happy to answer your questions regarding modeling and how to get involved with that. Please make sure, again, this is just for when you apply. But if there's any communication regarding sizing, what to bring, what to wear to set, that kind of thing, Nova will be happy to answer your questions. Following that is Miss Cecilia. She is our senior culture editor. So culture writers, culture articles, any culture concepts, that's going to be directed and led by Cecilia. So if you guys have any questions for Cece, please feel free to reach out to her. Her Instagram is cc.con with 2 N's. So she is basically our facilitator for all culture articles. Next is Miss Emma Connolly. We have 2 last names Connolly, but they're not related. Emma is our senior fashion editor. So any fashion articles, Emma is going to be your point of contact. She will be happy to edit as we write along, and she will answer any questions regarding fashion articles, making sure you guys get proper sources. She's going to be your helping hand with that. Next, we have Miss Gracie Khan, our music curator. Gracie is basically in charge of the music department with Primadonna. So if you're an artist, if you are a music writer, if you are involved anything music, and if you just want to say hey to Gracie with any questions with music answers, Gracie will be happy and more than happy to answer those. Her Instagram is Gracie Khan. So yeah, feel free to reach out to her. Next is Miss Rhiannon McGowan. She's our beauty coordinator and head hairstylist. So hairstylist, glam team, she is also co-captain. So if you guys have any questions regarding that, please feel free to contact Ms. Ree. Next is Nadia Adams. She's our editorial assistant. She basically oversees all aspects of what goes on behind the shoots. So that's call sheets, that's props, that's sourcing, that's basically being our helping hand and helping you guys, production, set designers, anything like that. Please feel free to contact Nadia. Her Instagram is Nadia Adams with 2 S's. Next is Brandy Roberts. She's our PR assistant. So her and Maddie are leading the PR team. So if you guys have any questions regarding public events, ways to get involved, or how to get involved with Prima Donna outside of print, please feel free to contact both Brandy and Maddie. And if you guys want to do any collabs with us, whether that's with your own business or your own personal branding, please feel free to reach out to Brandy and Maddie when it comes to anything public. Okay, that was a mouthful, but without further ado, let's get started with this issue. We're going to keep the issue theme. Let me just preface this. To anyone who has joined Prima Donna in the future, or in the past, and has worked with us prior, we are doing things a little differently right now. So, that being said, if you were here for our issue 1 meeting, thank you for being a veteran and a trooper. I appreciate you so much. If you joined last issue, welcome back. Thanks for coming again. It means the world to me and the team. And if you're just joining us, welcome. We're doing things a little differently. So, how we did meetings before, we used to do everything via Google Meets. We always have a little presentation that kind of oversees the entire issue and kind of explains those concepts in depth to you guys. But again, out of confidentiality, I can't really share everything too major right now. But the theme of our issue has a lot to deal with personal growth, changes, and adapting those changes. So that's kind of the overlying theme of this issue. And in each issue, like I said, we have 3 subsections that are the driving forces in the magazine's content. Those subsections are fashion, culture, and wellness. And so without further ado, let's get started into our concepts. Again, I'm not going to reveal the name to you, but I am going to explain what the concept is about, the angle that we're driving towards, and what to expect with that. So, leading the fashion department is our director, Monica Robles. Oh my God, I just butchered your last name, Mon. I'm so sorry. I just butchered it. But anyways, Monica is our director. She is, again, in charge of all editorial styling and featured garments and pieces like that. So she is your point of contact for that. Our editor for the fashion section and articles will be Miss Emma. So, our first concept of this issue, oh my God, I was about to say the name. I can't say the name. So, F1 is kind of what the nickname is right now, because that's obviously fashion number 1. The shoot date for this one is March 17th. The concept for this is basically about reinventing the old you. So you can't really reinvent the old you without looking back in the past. Now, I think we're all in a place where we're all ready to reinvent ourselves. We're all ready to get the ball rolling when it comes to our personal style, who we are, and how we express ourselves. And sometimes to do that, we kind of have to kill an old version of ourselves. So that's not literal. No one take what I'm saying too literally. But again, this is kind of the overlying concept with this one. We're kind of going towards a little Wednesday Addams kind of vibe as for the styling and the photography, the photo composition. But basically, again, this is kind of out with the old, in with the new. It's okay to kill the old It's okay to kill the old image of yourself and your personal style. Sometimes mourning your past style and fashion from the past is normal. If you want to be a better version of yourself with better style, sometimes you have to die in order to be reborn. But like I said, kind of Wednesday Addams vibes with a twist. We'd like to do kind of a murder scene as the first picture, and then moving from that is a funeral, and then the following picture is going to kind of be a new model putting flowers on the grave, mourning her past self, but doing that with confidence and taking that with stride. So that is the overall angle we're driving towards for this. If you get selected for this one, and if you want to be a part of this one, please apply for this one specifically. Once we get that team selected, I'm going to tell you the name of the concept and what to expect. Writers, the angle of this will be addressed in your writer's workshop. So this goes for every other concept. Moving on with our fashion section. The second one, this one's a little literal, but basically, as you can see, the mood board has models running, moving. This regards to fashion. Fashion is an industry that never looks back. Fashion is always moving forward. So the answers are always in front of you when it comes to your personal style, when it comes to what's next in fashion. Look in front of you. Stop looking back. We always want to go back to the 90s. We always want to go back to the 2000s. We always want to go back in time when it comes to fashion. So when is it time for Gen Z and us to start inventing new things in fashion? When are we going to start seeing new trends emerge? And so that's kind of what the angle of the article will be taking. But as for the shoots, we're thinking of shooting this one at TWA, the TWA hotel, that is, not the airport. And it's kind of got a retro future feel to this one. The article is going to pertain a little bit to trend forecasting and where we're moving in fashion. Where are we headed? Think about your pace. Think about what you're buying. Think about how fast you're moving in fashion, and think about how fast the industry is moving. The next concept, this one's a little literal, so I can't really say too much about this one, but we all know the common phenomena of, you're wearing that again? This one's kind of about owning that. Who cares if you were wearing the same piece you wore yesterday, as long as it's clean, but who cares if you're re-wearing something you wore last week? That's the point of buying clothes. The point of clothes is to treasure them and to keep them in your closet for a long time. Hand those to your kids, hand those to your friends. We really want to preserve what we're wearing, and we want to own our style. So there's a plethora of different ways to wear the same outfit differently. You really just have to think outside of the box, and this one will be an editorial shoot. So yeah, the concept of this one is basically just styling the same pieces differently. The next one is faux materials, and so I'm very excited about this one as someone who wears a lot of faux fur. This one is really relevant, especially for my fashion girlies out there. I'm sure you guys have seen Schiaparelli with, the fake animals and things like that. We obviously do not support anything cruelty or anything like that. And so this one is about why it is better to invest in faux materials. And basically, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun with this one. I really can't describe this one too much in detail, but it's really about making sure that you're buying the same material. Buying ethical materials, ethically sourced materials, and making sure that you preserve that, because obviously faux fur is beautiful, and who doesn't like a dramatic coat, Moving on, this one, okay, so you will see this, F5A, F5B, F5C, and F5D. I will not reveal the editorial series name, but all of F5 is regarding one editorial series. This is about paying homage to, unfortunately, we've lost so many important figures in fashion in 2022. So this is really paying homage to that period of fashion and honoring their legacy. Basically, it's about seeing how we're going to evolve, seeing how we're going to continue on their legacy and make sure that we preserve their work. So this one is paying homage to Issey Miyake. The next one is paying homage to Vivienne Westwood. I know so many people are going to love this one, including myself. And so, yeah, there's really not a lot of explanation that can be done with this besides the mood board, so it's kind of literal. But yes, this one is very Vivienne Westwood stylist. If you want to be involved with this one, I do expect that you have some kind of way of pulling Vivienne Westwood. Obviously, it doesn't have to be brand name Vivienne Westwood, but as long as it involves pieces that look or resemble her work, that is the goal. The next one is Mugler themed. Again, kind of similar to what I just said with those last two concepts. We're really thinking with this one, we want to make a bunch of images into one. And if you get selected for this one as a photographer, we'll explain this to you a little bit more in depth. But this shoot will be taking place Saturday, March 11th. And also, to preface this, I haven't really been going through the shoot dates, so apologies on my end. But all of them are obviously labeled right here. So if you have any questions regarding scheduling, please drop that in the chat. The next one for this is paying homage to Andre Leon Talley. TBD on this. I don't think we're going to do a shoot with models. So this one, just kind of keep your eyes on this. But if you want to write this one, I ask that we get a writer who is pretty versed in fashion history. Andre Leon Talley was such a pivotal driving force in fashion journalism. And not only was he pivotal to the growth of the magazine and publication industry, but fashion as a whole. So I myself personally, I look up to Andre so much, and I was heartbroken when he passed. So I really want to honor his legacy. I really want to make sure that we are respecting the integrity of his work. And so whoever does write this or is involved in this one, I ask that you really, really honor his legacy. So moving on, F6. This one is about accessories. We have accessories spelled wrong. Anyways, so there's a lot of unconventional ways that people are using accessories, and I honestly think now more than ever, accessories are resurfacing in a way that's making us want to get crafty. And so this one's going to be a little more beauty of a shoot, like more up close pictures. And so stylists, think outside the box. Get crazy with this one. Think of unconventional accessories that you might not have worn before. As you can see in some of these pictures, we have hair clips, we have a bra as a belt, that kind of thing. Really think outside the box. We're not just putting jewelry on models. We're really trying to expand on how to accessorize. So that's the general gist of that one. The next one, F7, is dealing with textures and fabrics. Textures are kind of huge right now. A lot of people are wearing big bows. A lot of people are wearing ribbons. People are wearing ruffles, faux fur. People are adding buttons to things. So it's really paying homage or honoring, honoring textures and fabrics and fashion, and how there's different ways to utilize that and wear different pieces. And so we're thinking of doing this one kind of bigger, go home, crazy set design, but also stuff that correlates with the garments. So set designers, stylists, writers, make sure you guys are communicating with each other, because it would make no sense for a writer to talk about something that's not included in the photos. We want to make sure that everything is cohesive and up to date. So again, this one is definitely going to be a little bit more fun. This one's about textures and fabrics and what's next in fashion for that. Last one for the fashion section has to deal with shoes. I would love to tell you guys the name of this one because I honestly personally love it. But we're doing shoes in an unconventional way. We're basically talking about what shoes are a fad or bad, what shoes are cute or comfort. Boots right now are huge. Heels right now are huge. Shoes are always going to be big, you know? So basically just talking about stepping into your power and owning that. So yeah, that's for the fashion section. Moving on is culture. Editor is Miss Cecilia. So, culture. This one, I really don't want to reveal the name of this one, but basically it has to deal with how art is found in all aspects of life. So in that, we're thinking of going a little crazy with the shoot. So models, if you're applying for this one, please be comfortable with body paint. Please be comfortable with certain posing. We're really trying to pay homage to certain pieces of art and how they connect with our present day culture. Art is huge in any aspect of culture, whether you ignore it or you don't. And so basically we're just kind of highlighting that. And again, we're doing a little crazier things when it comes to body paint, set design, things like that. That's kind of the overall gist of this concept. And we ask that whoever writes this do some research. Please be versed in a little bit of art history. We want to make sure that we're reporting accurate information. So, Moving on to our next culture concept. I am personally so excited for this one. The concept isn't workwear. We just kind of put that as kind of like a filler word for this one. But Gen Z, not specifically Gen Z, but young people right now, a lot of people are stepping into their own when it comes to creating their own brands. And even if you aren't someone who really is entrepreneurial or, has anything big like that, this one is really about minding your own. It's really all about sticking to yourself and making sure that you stay in your own lane. So you can kind of get an idea of what I'm trying to say with this one. We're thinking of shooting this one in an office space. We want about like 4 to 5 models for this one. Basically, stick to yourself. Don't worry about what other people are saying or thinking, because the only way that you can stay true to yourself is to listen to yourself. And so that's what this one is kind of about. Again, how this has to deal with culture. A lot of people our age are really stepping into their own, and that's kind of how it correlates. Again, I have to be a little vague, but if you're interested in this one, please feel free to sign up and we'll explain this one further in depth. Next one. This one's about tattoos. So many of us have tattoos. Tattoos are taboo in some places. Tattoos aren't taboo in some places. 9 times out of 10, every time you look, someone has a tattoo, and so that's really about owning this one. Tattoo artist. If you are interested in getting involved with this one, please feel free to reach out to us. This one's for you. Like I said, can't really explain this one too crazy, but its concept is tattoos. So yeah. This one, okay, we're going to change. We forgot to add this, but this is not West Coast. This is East Coast hip hop's influence on skate culture. If you have seen mid-90s, this is kind of what the vibe is for this editorial. Super fun. We ask that if you do write this one, you have experience or have knowledge when it comes to East Coast culture and specifically East Coast hip hop, specifically 90s hip hop, and how it's changed the trajectory of our culture today. Even if you skate or you don't, Golf Wang, Thrasher, Biggie, Tupac, all of these people. These are huge driving forces in our culture today, and so we want to honor that. We want to do it in a light that is nostalgic, but it's also fitting for us and our generation. And so moving on from that is the concept for this one. We're thinking of doing a film for this one. And so models, if you know how to skate, this one's for you. Any designers or brands that focus a little bit more on streetwear. We really don't want to go too editorial with this one. Obviously, we want to keep elements of editorial editorial photo composition with this one. But again, we're not wearing crazy garments. We're wearing stuff that we wear every day. And so if there are brands or designers who have more of that streetwear kind of look, please feel free to reach out to us. But we ask that this one we do with 100%. So if you skate, if you do anything regarding that, this is your concept. Moving on, music technology is huge right now. So this is C5. This is going to be a photo shoot. Everyone has headphones. Everyone has wired headphones. Everyone is getting a record player or, reviving their cassette tapes, Walkmans, MP3s, iPods. There's kind of a resurgence of this music technology happening today. And so, if this one speaks to you, we ask that you do a little more research when it comes to preserving music technology. But again, this is a huge part of our culture today. So yeah, this one is for you if you're interested in this. Moving on, this one is going to be definitely one of my personal favorites. This one is called, oh my God, I was about to say it. I can't say that. I didn't though.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Went really far.
So again, this one is about house music. We ask that the writer for this is either a queer person of color or either or. We ask that you are both categories, not even categories, but that's just who you are. This is paying homage to New York's house scene in the 80s, 90s to today. House music is it's not reviving because house music has always been around, but artists like Kay Trinata, off the top of my head, that's like the first house artist that I could think of. But anyways, If house music is your vibe, we're really thinking of having a lot of fun with this shoot. Graphic designers, if you're interested in designing this one is going to kind of look like a party poster for like the introduction page. And then as for the photos, models, this one's going to be a little bit more of a casual, laid back one, but we're going to kind of have a party for this one. So if you want to join the party, join this concept. Next is from our beloved music curator, Gracie Kahn. All of my Frank Ocean fans out there, you guys know how impactful and meaningful his music is, but not only is his music, but his legacy. Frank Ocean fans, you might recognize his letter to himself in 2013, I believe, that was posted on Tumblr. This is Gracie's rendition on this one. And so, this one is not going to be a shoot. This is going to be an art piece and an article. But if you have struggled to come to terms with where you are and who you will be in the future, this one's for you. And so I just wanted to throw this one in here just so you guys have an idea of what's to come for this issue. But for those who this speaks to, this one is going to be a big one. And I'm very happy that we're including this one. Moving on, this one is one of my favorites, but if you are a stoner, if you use medicinal marijuana, if you do anything regarding like that, this is paying tribute to 420 culture today. But we can't pay tribute to 420 culture today without doing heavy research. We can't do that without speaking to people who have lived in the past and have smoked prior. We really want to honor the fact that there are still people incriminated when that, obviously should not be happening. But again, we're not okay with that. We want to make sure that we are not just taking for granted that we have the space and the time now to just freely smoke. There are still people locked up. There are still problems that people are facing when it comes to possession of marijuana, when really there are so many medicinal and recreational benefits. So the angle of this article is huge. Graphic designers, this is kind of what we're going for. So if this speaks to you, please feel free to join it. But writers, please, if you apply for this one, please keep in mind that you are going to be doing heavy research. You are going to be really focusing on not an editorial writing piece, but you are going to be incorporating a lot of journalistic techniques. So this is for our culture section. That's our 8th one. Next is separating the art from the artist. We live in a society. Cancel culture is very prevalent. But think of it in terms of artists like Kanye. Think about people who've been canceled. Think about your favorite influencer who's made a mistake. You might still like their work, they might really speak to you on a personal level through their art, but as a person, I'm assuming and I hope that you don't agree with what they say. And so this one is kind of talking about that gray area in between. We're thinking of graphically making some kind of music festival kind of poster to go along with this one. And so we're very, very excited to do this one. Writers, please don't be afraid to be taboo. Don't be afraid to be cheeky. We're going to be talking about the stuff that you don't talk about. And this one's going to be a little bit more jarring. This one's going to be a little bit more thought-provoking. And so we're okay with that. So yeah. The next one is about feeling transported by music. I personally, I'll give you an example. Tame Impala fans, I don't know if you guys have listened to Tame Impala and felt like you're levitating. That's kind of what we want to incorporate with this shoot. We want to take your song into a dream world. If you're listening to reggae music, you probably feel like you're on the beach. If you're listening to Britney Spears, you probably feel like you're in the middle of a club dancing like her. It's really about not the emotions. It's not about the sounds. It's really about the experience that you get from listening to music and how that translates in your head. And so we're bringing that to life through this concept. So that's it for culture. Moving on to wellness, our editors to be announced, so just hold off on that. Starting with wellness, the concept for this one isn't astrology, but it's kind of going to incorporate little elements of astrology, but that's not the main focal point. The main focal point of this one is the phases of life. We all go through a phase of some sort, and so Sometimes you feel lighter and sometimes you feel darker. It's okay to feel shadowed by yourself sometimes. Nobody talks about that. Nobody brings attention to that. That's normal. It's a part of life and it happens. And we really just want to open up about that and get into the nitty-gritty when it comes to living in your own shadow sometimes. You're going to shine brighter than others in your life. That's just how life works. And never allow yourself to diminish your own light. Just reflect. So that's what this one's about. Moving on to this one's about nail art. We want to do this one very glam. We want to go very out of the box with this one, Bella Hadid kind of vibes. So nail techs, nail artists, if you want to get involved and do some crazy nail stuff, please sign up to join. This one is really just a glam shoot, and nail art's huge right now. I feel like a lot more people are starting to do their nails, even if you haven't done them before. Anyone can do crazy nail art, and that's what we want to talk about with this one. This one is a little shoot about crystals. I know you guys are probably like, ugh, crystals. This one, we're going to do kind of a fresher take with it, okay? So we're really trying to think outside of the box when it comes to this article and graphic design. So we want to really revamp this one and talk about the actual benefits of crystals. Yes, we know carnelian gives you energy. We know rose quartz can give you love, but what does it really do outside of that? So we really want to open on that, and we really, really want to focus on the holistic benefits of practicing with crystals. The next one, I'm so personally excited for this one. Ladies, we all have a menstrual cycle. It's a part of life. Yes, it's a painful process, but it's beautiful because it's something that all women can go through. And so it's basically about paying tribute to yourself and your body. It's about loving your body, being comfortable with your body, and being comfortable with the cycles that goes along with your body. Not only do we want to embrace periods, but we really want to advocate for women who struggle with certain menstrual disorders, diseases, or any issues regarding that. We really want to not talk about that pain in a way that reminds you of it, but in a way that makes you feel accepted and like you are in the right place at the right time when it comes to your period. And so that's basically about, but it's anyone with a uterus, anybody who, goes through a menstrual cycle or, has dealt with anything like this. This is what this one's about. Okay, the next one, it's not specifically just the transition from high school to adulthood. We just put that there because that's something that I think we can all recently relate to, especially our audience. But this one is really about the transition from anywhere to a new place, to a new job, moving across the country. It's uncomfortable, it's scary, and it's petrifying. A lot of people don't want to do it, and even if you do want to do it, and it's something that you've been wanting to do your whole life, when that moment comes, it is terrifying. But not only is it terrifying, it's liberating. And so that's the angle we really want to take with this one. The mood board will kind of get you in alignment with what I'm trying to say without being so vague, but it's really about owning your transitions in life and knowing that you're not alone through that. And then our last concept for this issue is about, I can't even say that, but it's about train tracks. We all go through different walks of life. We all come from different areas. We all come from all kinds of backgrounds. And so, yes, we are on our own tracks and it looks different from everyone else's. If you're a New Yorker, you know what I'm talking about. There's delays, there's stops, and there's malfunctions, even though you feel like you're taking the right route. And 9 times out of 10, you are on the right line. But sometimes there's delays. It doesn't mean that you're on the wrong. It's just a part of life. But at the end of the day, all tracks meet at one station at some point. And so that is what this one is about. So writers, get emotional, get gritty. That's what this one's really about. So that's it for issue 3. It seems shorter than what it is, but trust me when I say it's not. So next steps. After the meeting, we're going to send an email to applicants, including the presentation and all interest forms. So that's going to be going out to you guys at like 9:15. Again, please revisit this. I said this prior, but everything is due. So if you're new and you're just finding out about Primadonna and you want to get involved, now is the time to submit. You have until February 3rd, so this Friday at 12 o'clock p.m.
Midnight.
Yeah, sorry. Midnight. Sorry. Sorry, you guys. Yeah, that's what is going on with that. So if you're new, welcome. Just make sure you get everything in so we can check off your interest from there. And again, shoot team positions, check off those concepts that you're interested and available with. I want to apologize because I forgot to go through those meeting dates. So I'm assuming some of y'all might have taken pictures or things like that.
They're all going to be in the form as well. So when you check off in the form, it'll say F1, it'll say what the concept is briefly, and then it will also state the date there. So it's all in the form for you.
Yep, what Maddie said. Okay, yeah. And we will send out assignments via email on February 10th. So you guys will know if you're working for us for print, not this Friday, but next Friday. So if there's any questions like, when am I going to find out? You're going to find out February 10th. We're going to be holding short virtual meetings regarding each concept in further detail on February 11th. So that's for F3, F4, F5A, F6, F7, and W2. Saturday, February 11th. So if you have a strong feeling that you really want to do this one, please make sure to mark that in your calendar. The rest of the meetings will be ongoing from February 17th through 19th. And again, all of those meeting times are going to be discussed in the Google chat, which you will be placed in automatically if you are accepted and are participating with us for this issue. Again, writers, if you get selected to write for us this issue, our workshop is going to be taking place February 12th. This is where you get an idea of how to write an editorial piece, what kind of grammar we're looking for, the structure of your your article, page length, word count, all of that will be discussed with you in there. Again, main forms of communication is through Google Chats. Updates and links will be on our close friend story on Instagram. And if you want to contribute, please make sure you're up to date with our contributor hub. Visuals, creative teams, stylists, photographers, models, glam, anything regarding being on set, everything is going to be on Milanote. And then again, just make sure you are keeping up to date with your emails. Gmails, move us to your primary inbox. Apple, add us to your VIP list. And Outlook, add us to your favorites. So without further ado, that is it from us. Thank you guys so much for attending. I can't even see the number of people, and so I will in a second, but thank you all for coming. It means the entire world and more to me. Seriously, I started this magazine as, impulsive idea, and now we're working with so many people. I'm so excited to meet you guys in person, and just spread the love. This again is a project that I pour my whole heart into, and the team as well. And just to preface, I know we have a lot of questions regarding oh my god, what's the word? Sorry guys, I'm blanked out. Anything regarding volunteer work, this is collaborative. And so obviously right now we are a startup magazine. We started in 2022, and so we're currently working on the process of getting everything monetized. But as for compensation, right now everything is going to be collaborative. So just keep that in mind. So if there's any questions regarding that, you can privately discuss that with us. But just so everyone is prefaced and knows that right now that's where we are. Unfortunately, I would give you all $1 million if I could. I'm not even paying myself for this, so just keep that in mind that we are still a startup magazine. We're still independent, but one of these days, you guys are more than welcome to join us in the office and come hang out with us. So yeah, but again, we're gonna send you guys a recap email with all of the links, and if there's any questions, feel free to DM us on Instagram, reach out to myself, Maddie, and anyone on the team. We'll be happy to get in contact with you guys. And that's really it from us for this meeting on Saturday, February 18th. Very, very excited for this. We're going to be doing a Valentine's pop-up with lots of other brands and creatives, so feel free to pop out with us. We're going to be doing this with 99 Angels, so if you want to come shop with us at 99 Angels, please feel free to do so. We might have some merch out for you guys, but we're going to have photo ops, We're going to have snacks for you guys. We're going to have games, activities, readings, all of the above. So if you're interested and you just want to come say hi to us, please feel free to do so. We're a big family, a big group of friends, and you guys are more than welcome to join us, and you are a part of us. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for joining. I am so happy to get started, so ready to get in the studio, and so ready to have these copies and everything done for you guys by May. So looking forward to working with you guys. Again, if you have any questions, we don't bite. Feel free to reach out to us. But I want to kiss you all. Mwah. Thank you so much for your time and your energy today. I'm not going to kiss you guys. But yeah, but again, thank you guys so much for joining today. And without further ado, I'm signing out.
Goodbye, everyone. How do we end it?
I ended it.
Okay. Oh my god.
How many people?